hopefully from the manager, a player, and of course more from Joe Tessam. We're on the air through until 10:30 this evening. Time to take you to your commentators. The match live on 96.1 FM, 103.8 FM, digital radio across the county of Dorset this evening, and Freeview Television Channel 715. To guide you through the 90 minutes, former Southampton midfielder Joe Tessam is alongside Adam Blacknell.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Welcome everybody to St Mary's. Wherever you're listening across the south on 96.1 or in Dorset or on Preview, maybe at home on 715, a very good evening. And however you're listening on your device, maybe around the country, around the world on the Saints Player, a very good evening from myself and Joe. I'm quite a fan of QPR's salmon and brown half and half kit. It's quite nice with the brown shorts and the brown socks. I'm not a massive fan of the white numbers you can hardly see on the back of them as a commentator though. So we're almost ready. Saints in their cool white training tops that Todd Director keeps wearing at press conferences that are now available, that seem very popular with supporters. They'll be stripping those off in a moment, and I'll go to the teams for you. Perhaps when the fans stop playing, which might be a while. Referee tonight is Oliver Langford. He refereed, unfortunately, the 4-0 loss at Middlesbrough back at the start of January. On the other side, he did send off the QPR right back Amadou and Bengué when they played Wrexham a while ago this season. Saints, of course, winning the reverse fixture 2-1 back on November the 5th. Tom Eckert's first game in charge. Are we going to see the sort of progress in the 21st game in charge that you'd hope to see over that?
Scored in Southampton's 2-1 victory at Queen's Park Rangers in early November. Under Eckhard replaced Will Still in the managerial hot seat at St Mary's. They are now very much a team in form.
build-up, you know, it's fast, there's movement there. For one, Egley for me has to put the ball across the face of goal, you know, can he put it in between the last defender and goalkeeper there? Look at the bodies that are in there waiting for it. And then Matthew Saber, you know, he's just trying a little reverse one. I think he's got to go a little bit pace.
Spins away from him and sends in the cross as well. I think there was a shout by the goalkeeper Bolton there because O'Shea ducked out of the way.
Yeah, I've said it about a switch when you get into those positions, you need more movement. You know, Chapman is on the ball, so one of his teammates, you know that the ball's coming in, he has that quad. He's definitely going to get the contact.
To get going, there's an attacking force, Ed still. So against Derby County, they were certainly deserving of all 3 points. His only criticism was should have finished the game a lot earlier. Mamadou Doumbouya's last minute strike to secure the points. Nunez slides it in behind for Azon. Selvig's off his line. Azon's around him. Well, there's no contact. And Selvig gets away with one there. Well, you see.
Every right to go down there. You know, he's got to the ball first. Selvig came, his momentum taken. So even if it's body contact, a slight one to the... I have no arguments. I know people say, oh yeah, the honest player staying on his feet there. If it's contact, no matter what it is, he's at a disadvantage because he's taking the ball away from the goalkeeper. He's at a disadvantage. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh, I tell you what, he's done ever so well. I'm looking at Selvig there. He's done everything a goalkeeper do in that situation. And fair play to Azon, he's still got the ball across the face.
He didn't put his arms up to try and get the ball, did he, Selvig? That was the difference.
Yeah. But he's done enough just to put the ball.
That looked like it came off shaft the Tadzer, it did. It'll be an Ipswich Town throw. Seems to be finding more space down the right-hand side, Ipswich Town, compared to the left. Here's Furlong. On the target, well watched out by Fooney. Loser's out. Farkas support on the left hand side, but Leeds can't progress. That's a Siwa. Neil, every outfield player currently in Watford's half. Gibbray to Clark. Now Greaves, Watford. Gibbray to Clark. Now Greaves, Watford. Forming a big yellow ball in. But it's also equally dealt with by the Watford back line.
Yeah, he's been on fire for the Ezra Nunez. You look at the ball that he's putting into the box. That's another wonderful cross. It's not a million miles away. Takes out the first two. Watford, another great ball.
Nunez, Azon, Pollock in the way. Entrance is there to help, and a banquet also is. Wobbly moment to the back though for Watford. To it.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on. Now Greaves down that left-hand side again, an excellent ball. There's 3-4 players under it. You know, someone's got to then say, okay, there's 2 or 3 going. Can I hang back? Maybe Egley, because he sees up in the front and he's getting an opportunity. I don't mind him taking the shot on from there because he definitely has that in the artillery.
Advantage is played here. In comes a shot from Azon, but his left foot sends it well over the top of the crossbar. Never nice, and he had the composure at the racecourse at the weekend, but his left foot there, way off.
Yeah, I like him. You know, I think he's always in the move. He's quite aggressive. Like I say, he's not shy to take these opportunities on, but like. Gone. Try and work the goalkeeper there, make sure you hit the target.
And players surrounding him. Did the Spaniard, who's on loan from Como in Syria. Fabregas, Como that is. Down over on the far side here, and Kunda can get a little tight.
Yeah, I just think every single ball that's going up, Kerem he is winning most of those headers, even if it's up against Kipe, but Kipe reacted well. That's when Kunda, he's always gambling in behind. I think that's where they like to check the cards do. Even Mendy, can they drive forward as well?
Midway through this first half, Ipswich Town certainly seen more of the ball, but not much to talk about for Selva Walton.
Es de grandes, demasiado espacio para esa pierna derecha, bote antes, pegada al palo, la fórmula perfecta para un gol.
La parte de fin atrás, qué forma de controlar, de levantar la cabeza, de poner lo más alejado posible de donde aparecía Joe Walsh. Y Queen's Park Rangers está cayendo entonces ya 1-0 y habrá que ver qué tanto lo obliga este resultado más agresivo.
Cuidado con el Southampton, es un equipo que tiene hambre de golear. Cuando le abren la puerta a los Saints, se están despachando grande. Tú decías 6 partidos sin perder en la Championship. Fíjate, porque siguen con vida en el FA Cup, si tomamos la otra competición, van a jugar contra el Fulham en la quinta ronda. Y es un equipo que cuando en esta racha le han abierto la puerta, puede golear a sus rivales. Así que QPR debe tener cuidado, sobre todo en este momento del partido, estabilizar las emociones.
Contra Charles jugaron mucho y una que tuvo el Charles la mandó guardar y después generaron una zona de peligro, ya en la parte final del juego, más allá inclusive de que agregaron 10 minutos en el partido, así que tendrá que ser un equipo muy concentrado, el del señor del cual ya platicábamos, Tonda Eckert. De momento Manning va a tocar hacia atrás con Jack Stevens, que cede con Harold Bellis, va a devolver la pelota entonces hacia atrás y habrá que ver qué tanto decide salir el cuadro visitante. Lo hacía un poco Ryan Collins.
dead ball technician over the ball here for QPR.
Delivery's outstanding. That left foot. And I'm pretty sure that he has to take on a striker goal.
They'll try and keep it alive. Kone laying it back, struck by Dunn. Some frantic defending before eventually Suki puts his foot through the ball. Bale caught in possession. Brilliant work by Adaz, and now it's Sienta. To Adaz, but it allowed Bale to recover because Sienta just didn't put enough on the pass.
I mean, it's a real straightforward pass, isn't it, as well? You expect someone as strong as quality to just roll Adaz into the space, let it run onto that. I mean, Harvey Bale will be pleased that didn't happen. Credit to him, he got back and rectified his mistake.
Hayden for Rangers. Edwards. Very well seen by Green. There was Yanda. They're just starting to threaten now. Rangers.
It's a real good spell. Out of frantic start. They've finished that seasons where trying to go in direct into the ball there and then play their football. Just having two centre forwards on the pitch, if you're not going to utilise what they have up there, quality in behind as well.
Action. Recently, didn't he? But was fit to start on Saturday, which is a huge plus because he's been Mr. Consistent for Rangers this season. Vale. From Bengay. Cato laying it off for Harvey Vale. Yanda puts it behind. Will be a corner.
See what Harvey Vale's trying to do is he wants to use that left foot. He wants to drift into it and just feed that ball to the path that Anderson on the edge of the box. Stelford. They're out here. We'll make something of this corner.
Harvey Vale right in front of the QPR fans in that corner to take this corner. Lifted back in by Bengay. Just overdone, we will retrieve. No problem for... the Israeli goalkeeper Daniel Perez. Sheets in his last 8 games since joining on loan from Bayern. ended in a draw. Colling, little touch back. Here's Harvey Vale, whistle's gone though. And the flag is up on this near side. It's Colling. QPR since he was a young lad. Ryan Colling. Given away straight to Hayden, who in turn can't keep possession for his team. Ball by Downs. Here's Manning. Yanda. Vale. Southampton get the throw. Quirk of the fixture list, both these teams facing opponents from Sheffield at the weekend. Away to already relegated Sheffield Wednesday. QPR at home to Sheffield United. QPR's matches in the Championship this season. Harris actually taken over his first choice. Captain Bazunu is now on loan at Stoke. Well, that was a poor one from Barrett. Davis couldn't make further progress on that far side. Knocked in his tracks by Karen Matsky. Their start for the Japanese under-23 international, just his third start in his 10 championship appearances this season. Clear arm there around Davis. He followed his man all the way across to this near side. Nicholas Madsen then will take this free kick for QPR. Norrington Davis. Manning's header away. Madsen. Colling. Little touch. Sato. Colling. Wins the corner. Comes off Manning. Good little spell of pressure then from the visitors. Vale to take the corner then for QPR. Firmly punched from Panic. Long from Chienza. Now it's a problem here for Madsen. He seems to have pulled up there. And it might well be that QPR are going to have to make a change here. Madsen, the Danish midfielder, looks like his night might be over. See here, just pulls up there. So we are going to have the first change of the night. Plenty of frantic signalling over in the QPR technical area. Well, there'll be Daniel Benny who's going to come on, who scored a terrific goal at Hull at the weekend, just a few minutes after coming on as a substitute. It's Kieran Morgan, in fact, who's coming on in his place. The 19-year-old England under-20 international. Comes on for his 17th appearance of the season in the Championship, 12 of them from the bench. That's an injury that will probably keep Madsen out for a few weeks. Under-20 debut last September. Immediately involved in the action. Zimbabwe. Chase on here for Vale. Dispossessed by Yanda. Chienza trying to get away from Dunn. Larin, pursued by Norrington Davis. Downs. Here's Finazas, scorer of the only goal so far. Couldn't work it through to Kairu Matski. Bangwit. Roll out of play. Play on as that. Just a little too strong with the first touch. Good advantage played though by Oliver Langford. Strong challenge coming in from Downs. Koki Sato really felt the after effects of that as he crash landed. Bangway. He actually won't have to memories of this referee who sent him off in the 3-2 defeat at home to Wrexham last month for 2 yellow cards. options left and right. Harvey Vale goes for goal himself. Might not have been the best option. Well, he felt there was a touch of a Southampton player last of all. Not sure as to the validity of that claim. They were together at Barnsley. Also had a spell on the coaching staff at Genoa. Edwards. Norrington Davis. Edwards again. Ronnie Edwards. Walsh. Edwards again. Real Southampton pressure. As that, can he make it two? Blocked by Walsh. Flag up though. Flag went up pretty swiftly, then went down again as the referee, the assistant dropped it. There you can see it comes off the Southampton man last of all. In fact, he dropped the flag and just raised his arm. The assistant. Angry. Crowley. Hayden. Excellent challenge. Shienza. Azaz sprinting ahead of him. Cross comes Edwards. Plays it off in Azaz. He'll be keen to prove a point tonight, the former Southampton man, Ronnie Edwards. Another injury problem for QPR. And in being dispossessed there, QPR have been handed another problem. Just the way that he fell there. Isaac Hayden. English-born Jamaican international. To make one change. Won't want to make another one before the break. Who landed awkwardly. The two number 14s colliding there. Behind this free kick then for Southampton. Awkward high hanging one off the post. Norrington Davis with the clearance, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis was so close there. Touch eluding Walsh. And Stevens couldn't follow up. He got 4 goals this season, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. From Norrington Davis. Into the middle towards Kyle Lallin. It'll be picked up by Bree on that far side. Stevens. Shienza. Yanda. Shakes back away from Vale. Downs. Yanda. Harwood-Bellis. Flag up eventually against Leo Shienza. No free kick though, an advantage is played. And here we see Harwood-Bellis getting to that ball into the area first, and it was centimetres away from being the second goal of the night. Back by Norrington Davis. Not sure quite what that was from Kieran Morgan, the substitute. To go then into the last 5 minutes plus additional time of the first half. Will gather. Southampton will be quite happy if it just stays this way until the break. Larin. On this near side. So is Shienza. A little bit of room here for Leo Shienza. Yanda, blocked by the arm of Walsh. Has been given away by Mbangwe. Shienza. Harwood-Bellis. A little bit short. Norrington Davis nips in. And will come forward now. Rhys Norrington Davis. Kone is the only man in the middle. Looks for him. Flynn Downs covering. Azaz. Stevens. from Vale. Shienza. Laren in the middle, so is Azaz. Challenge comes in from Mbangwe, corner kick. Good stop this from Walsh. Southampton pressing hard for a second goal. With the first half in its final stages. Corner is deep. Away by Sato. Azaz. Shienza, foul just outside the area, but the flag was up. You can see him at the bottom of your picture. Fourth official, who is Tom Neal, shortly shows how much additional time is to be played at the end of this first half. Downs. Taken down nicely by Lare. Referee ducks well out of the way as well. Free. Marchki gets the shot away. Southampton ending this first half very strongly. On loan at Göztepe in Turkey last season, having joined from FC Tokyo. Kone. Couldn't get away from Bree. Azaz. Maski. Taken down by Yanda. Azaz. Shienza. Almost found a way through there. Stopped in the end by Jimmy Dunn. Just a moment here where QPR possibly wondered if he was offside, and he was a long way onside. Shienza will take this corner kick now. The Japanese winger applies the finishing touch, and Southampton finished the first half in style. Well, what a moment for him. Shienza's corner, always an awkward one. Walsh, you can see the goalkeeper, he's not quite sure whether to come forward or retreat, and in the end he's rather caught in two minds. And in the meantime, Maski is there. Just the end to the second half that Southampton, to the first half rather, that Southampton would have wanted. satisfactory opening 45 minutes for Southampton. Spinazaz with his 50th career goal, putting them in front. Lovely low strike into the bottom corner. And then in the final few seconds of the first half, Karu Matski doubling Southampton's lead. It's a long way back for Queen's Park Rangers at half-time at St Mary's. Southampton 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Changes required then from Julien Stephan. Queen's Park Rangers trailing by 2 goals to 0. Get the second half underway at St Mary's. Southampton in the red and white stripes with the white backing. QPR in their change colours tonight of pink and black. It has not been a good night so far for the visitors. Southampton have certainly enjoyed their evening. Goals from Finazaz and Matsky. Bengwe high in the air, and it's away by Kasper Yanda, the only player to be booked in the first half at St Mary's. Throw met by Stevens, who got a whack in the face for his troubles. Kone couldn't get the shot away. Sato with a delicate chip in, taken easily by Daniel Perez. Perez, who hasn't really been seriously tested so far this evening. Southampton goal. Southampton looking to make it 7 without defeat in the Championship. 4 wins and 2 draws in their previous 6. Ryan Colley, incidentally, is the player who has gone off for QPR. Australian under-20 international is not in his place. Lara couldn't keep possession. On free kick, QPR given away by Downs and taken quickly. And Bengwe. Chase on here for Matsky. First half substitute for the injured Nicholas Madsen. Can't do anything with that through ball. QPR do have a lot of injuries at the moment. Elias Chair out for a long time. Key player for them over recent seasons, but very much a bit part player this season. Get the decision. They're in foul. Kyle Larin, who will be hopefully part of the Canada squad at the World Cup in the summer. He can get selected by Jesse Marsh. Now chance for Southampton to get a third. The rebound is clear, not too far, but it is a third goal, and it's the second one for that man there, Kyle Matsky. skiing. Well, what a night he's having. And what a night Southampton are having. Look at the space he has at the bottom of your picture, and as it's pushed away by Walsh, it fell very nicely indeed for him. Calm, controlled finish. The goalkeeper could have done a little better in pushing it wider and further away from goal. For the third time tonight, Walsh is beaten. And as it stands, Southampton are heading for the double over QPR. Ski now on a hat-trick. And as it stands in the Championship table, Southampton are up to 8th place from the 11th on which they started the day. Shienza, Manning, comes away off Hayden for another Southampton corner. Shienza just urging the Southampton supporters over in that far corner to make even more noise behind their team. Shienza's corner, flicked on, Bree, pushed away by Walsh, otherwise that would have been goal number 4 for Southampton. That was heading in, but an instinctive save from Walsh. Just able to tip it to safety. Shoving there. Ryan Manning will take this corner for Southampton. Getting into the danger zone. He came off a QPR head and cleared away by Kone. Turn it back to the fullback. It's away by Walsh. Vale. Kone. Referee just waited to see whether there might be an advantage after that challenge from Harwood Bellet. Jonathan Varane, his half-brother, is going to come on for QPR, and in fact it's going to be a double change because Escadina, the young Brazilian, is also going to come on. Making his way back from injury. Hogan. Mbengwe. Oh, he got far too much on that. There were two in the middle, hoping to get on the end of the cross. Norrington Davis. Well, been a handball there, but play continues. In the end, no way through for Rhys Norrington Davis. Mbengwe getting far too much on that ball into the middle. Just holding back on the double change for the moment. Just too high for Kone in the middle. Will have been a fraction offside. Indeed he was, the flag up on the far side. First time in the championship, Kyle Ladding. Nice ball through, chance for a hat-trick perhaps here. Goalkeeper slip, was he pushed out of the way there by Dunn? Matsky looked like he might have been bundled over by the QPR captain. Play continues though. Norrington Davis. Loose ball picked up by Vale. It's Harvey Vale for QPR. Peretz in the way. First save of note really that he's had to make tonight. Matsky very frustrating. Norrington Davis. Right there. Sato. Penalty. See the referee's view. Dunn hasn't got eyes for the ball there at all, has he? Good save from Peretz. Interception from Dunn. Just did enough. Cross King, Harwood Bennett to tidy up. Hayden. Away by Manning. And a chance for Southampton to break now on that far side. It's Chienza. Look at Larin racing into the middle. Chienza, can he finish it? He can, off the inside of the post. It's the fourth goal for Southampton. And what a night they are having at St Mary's. Leo Chienza scores against QPR for the second time this season. The breakaway move, and QPR had no answer. Leo Chienza gets his sixth goal of the season, and this is where it all started, with that clearance from Manning. Azaz with the forward ball. Chienza still had plenty to do. Look at Larin in the middle. He was available. Chienza had other ideas, and although Walsh gets a hand to it, he can only divert it onto the inside of the post. The visitors section is emptying. Plenty of QPR fans have seen enough. They're making their way to the exits. We've not even played an hour and Southampton are 4-0 up. So the changes now will be made for QPR. Norrington Davis is withdrawn. his left back role. Escudina is on in his place. Here he is. He'll be 20 on Saturday. The Brazilian. Ball on towards Bree. This is Azaz. Might have been an easier ball to Bree. In the end, it's Walsh who will tidy up at the back. Southampton look dangerous every single time that they come forward. Queen's Park Rangers needed a big response in this second half to find a way back from 2-0 down at the break, but they quite simply haven't been able to do so. Left and right, you can see he was trying to work that ball through to Larin. Defender in the way. Excellently done. Edwards. Escudina. Starts and now 7 substitute appearances for Escudina in the Championship this season. He joined last February from Fluminense in Brazil. It was almost caught there, done. Larin, so frustrated. Target was Kone, wasn't going to be found though. Chienza, who's down. Oh, what a night for Don de Reckert. His first match in charge was against QPR. It looks like his latest is also going to be a victory, 4-0 for the Saints. Rangers did go down to a 7-1 defeat away at Coventry early in the season. A bit frustrated again, isn't he, Larry? So a fortnight after winning 4-3 at Leicester City, Southampton have scored 4 more goals again. The highest total of goals though this season. They won 5-1 at Charlton back in late November. Kone was robbed hard with Bellis. Southampton free kick. surely fancy their chances of getting another 3 points on Saturday when they're away to Sheffield Wednesday, already relegated. Changes afoot then from both of these teams. Stewart there at the back, and who scored at the weekend. Southampton very much managing his return because he's had so many injuries since joining the Saints. Whether he will be replacing Larin. First of all though, Jonathan Baran is going to come on. Konek. Coming off. It's almost the waving of the white flag from Julian. Relegated from the Premier League last season. After making an immediate return back to the top flight, are they going to do that again? It's a bit of a gap up to the top two, but they came up via the playoffs before. Double change for Southampton. Cameron Archer and Ross Stewart are going to come on. Benazaz is the first to go off, he having scored the opening goal of the night. The other change, and it is Kyle Larin to be replaced by Ross Stewart up front. Stewart has been so unfortunate with injuries. Just a couple of appearances for Scotland back in 2022 before all his injuries struck. Now a chance. Archer couldn't find his way through. Baran. Against QPR. The one thing this is doing for Southampton, as well as getting them the 3 points, is significantly boosting their goal difference, which could be vital come the end of the season. She ends up with the ball in field. Escadina can't quite clear. Bree with the interception. And really well positions the shot. Picks his spot. Executes the shot with perfection. Takes a deflection, in fact, which wasn't immediately obvious with the naked eye. Came off Ronnie Edwards, but that will be Bree's goal, no doubt about it. And we still have 20 minutes to play. Southampton look as though they can score every time they come forward. Here he is again. Stevens. Shienza. Shienza just in field. Shienza goes past his man with ease. Placed now by Adamson, who gets the block. Stevens. Bree. Stewart. Bree. They just take their time to reorganise. Bree. Stewart by Edwards. Rolling ball to be taken again. Rangers who aren't involved in the FA Cup, lost at West Ham in the third round after extra time. Southampton very much involved in the FA Cup. They're away to Fulham in the fifth round. Weekend after next, first weekend of March. Stevens. Just that one save really that Perez has had to make in the Southampton goal. Queen's Rangers, who won 3-1 at Hull on Saturday, have been firmly beaten tonight. Sent back over that way by Walsh. Will pick up with Stewart. Can't set up Archer. Duran. Mangwe. Now in behind the Southampton defence is a chance here for Daniel Benny. Giving away the free kick. Sums up QPR's night really, that incident. Watching this, there's going to double change for Southampton over on the far side. Leo Shienza is being withdrawn. And Samuel Edozie comes on. And Anu Matsky is also being withdrawn. Tom Fellows is coming on in his place. Dozy coming on for his third appearance in the Championship for the season. Last season at Anderlecht, now taken by Walsh. Saito. Hayden's chip ball towards Adamson. It's away by Manning. Edozie. By Varane. Oh, it's left inexplicably there. For some reason by Yanda. Adamson. Can QPR get what surely would only be a consolation goal? Edwards. Escudinho. Edwards again. Played an advantage and then decided against it. Clear push by Bree. Escudinho. Infield from Saito. Here's Saito again. Varane. Goes Adamson. Done. Varane. Stepped away from Yanda. Benny. Real focal point though to the QPR attack, with Kone having been withdrawn. Southampton in this sort of form against a team who started the night on the same number of points as them. How many goals they might get at already relegated Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend. Manning with the header. It won't be kept in play though by Edozie. He made his first appearance of the season early this month, Samuel Edozie, against Watford. The results, foregone conclusion really. Can Southampton keep another clean sheet? This is gone. 3 clean sheets in his 7 appearances so far for Daniel Peretz. And the 5th and final change for Southampton will see the Northern Ireland international Shay Charles come on for the last few minutes. He might replace Yanda having been booked in the first half. Actually the only yellow card off the match so far. Ball in behind the defence for Stewart, who looked offside and was offside. Change with 9 minutes plus additional time is going to be made, but it's not Yanda. Flynn Downs, who is coming off. first place. Charles, who returned to the Southampton team in January, having been out since October. Gets his first involvement then. Hello, does it? By Morgan. Yanda. Edozie. Trying to find a way through, couldn't do so. Just a throw. He felt, as you can see, that he was pulled. Fellows. West Brom in all sorts of trouble at the wrong end of the championship table. Tom Fellows was player of the season at West Brom for the last 2 seasons. Edozie. Manning, can he keep it in play? He can't. International Edozie. Tom Fellows, an England under-21 international, now 22 years old, the midfielder. Score for Southampton so far. Fellows, he got 4 goals last season for West Brom. Well, fancy his chances in the little time that's left of notching his first goal in Saints colours. Fellows. Well, he prevented it going over the goal line, couldn't prevent it going out of play on this near side though. For Northern Ireland to have him back in action ahead of their crucial World Cup playoff fixtures next month. It's a bit of a problem there for Morgan, who's limping quite badly. Again, Kieran Morgan is wearing those sort of mini shin pads. Didn't exactly help the situation, but he got a whack in the face, so shin pads wouldn't of course have had any impact there, but that's the reason he was not moving as freely as he would like. Quite a few Southampton fans have tentatively made their way towards the exits to try and beat the traffic, which can be quite considerable leaving St Mary's after a match. far side at all. It's been a miserable night for Queen's Park Rangers. Complete opposite though for Tonda Eckert and Southampton. Southampton's goal difference is doing them a power of good with this win. Moving up to +9 at the moment. Apart from the top three of Coventry, Middlesbrough and Ipswich, is the best goal difference in the division. So it's the fourth best goal difference. The championship matches has finished. As it stands, Southampton in 7th place in the championship with 50 points, 1 place below the playoff positions. 7 points behind 3rd place Ipswich, although they have played 2 more games than the side from Suffolk. QPR started the day in 13th in the championship, and as it stands, they will end the day in 13th in the championship. Manning chips it in, gathered by Walsh. Caught in possession. Charles. Brave goalkeeping. Archer almost through. Walsh diving at his feet. Duran losing possession. And Cameron Archer just beaten to it by Walsh. And at the other end, Peretz just gets there first. Determined to keep a clean sheet. Daniel Peretz. Little stooping header there. On loan at Hamburg in the first part of the season from Bayern Munich. Daniel Peretz. About to go into additional time then at the end of the 90 minutes. And we will have 5 minutes additional time. Edwards, a miserable return to St Mary's for the former Southampton player. Put away by Archer. Varane. Has certainly contributed greatly to Southampton's performance tonight. It will be 7 unbeaten in the championship for Southampton. 5 wins and 2 draws in that time. The next 3 league matches, incidentally, are all away from home. Sheffield Wednesday, they've got the cup match at Fulham, then away at West Brom and away at the leaders Coventry. And then they have 3 home ties in a row against Norwich, Oxford and Ipswich. Fellows. Harwood Bennett. Yanda. Charles being urged to shoot. Here's Bree. Crowded penalty area. Harwood Bennett has a go. Matter at this stage of proceedings, and it was always going wide. Midway through the additional 5 minutes then at the end of the night. It's a night that can't end soon enough for Queen's Park Rangers, and for Joe Walsh there conceding 5. Just playing out time now. Southampton were 21st in the Championship when Sander Eckhart succeeded Will Still. In early November, his first match in charge was away at Queen's Park Rangers. Southampton won by 2-1, and since then it's been an upward trajectory for the Saints as they look for a swift return to the Premier League. Just 3 times at home this season. Stoke, Preston and Hull have been the victorious teams, but only once under Eckhart have they lost here. And this has been a 5-goal, 5-star performance from the Saints. It's a night to forget for Queen's Park Rangers. We have home ties against Sheffield United and Middlesbrough to come. Manning. Charles will have a go. It was always rising and always going high. And that might well be the final action of the night. Referee's had a look at his watch. 3 points for Southampton to take them up to 7th place in the Championship standings. 2 goals from Karu Matski after the opener from Finazan. Leo Chiesa and James Bree also putting their names on the score sheet for Southampton. Queen's Park Rangers back to earth with a bump after their win at Hull at the weekend. But for Southampton, the excellent run continues. Southampton 5, Queen's Park Rangers.
Southampton.